Good morning. It's November 14th, and this is your daily brief in science. Here's everything you need to know. The world is still headed upward on carbon emissions, with year 2025 projections at about 38.1 billion tons after a 1.1% rise from year 2024. Over the past decade, 35 countries have cut fossil fuel emissions while growing their economies, showing decarbonization is possible even as global peaks remain uncertain. Leading researchers warn that at the current pace, staying within the 1.5 degrees Celsius budget is essentially impossible unless momentum shifts dramatically. The new report is released alongside COP30 coverage from Belém, Brazil, framing emissions data within the climate talks and geopolitics of climate leadership. The publication emphasizes climate policy discussions, the COP30 context, and related coverage to provide a fuller picture. Experts stress there is no alternative to mitigation and urge urgent international cooperation to change the trajectory. COP30 discussions, climatologists, and UN bodies underscore that the 1.5 degrees Celsius target is no longer achievable under current trajectories, shifting focus to limiting overshoot duration. Solar, wind, batteries, and preserved carbon sinks show progress, but analysts caution these elements alone won't meet Paris-aligned goals. The COP30 events in Belém highlight ongoing challenges in cutting planet heating emissions as the peak remains unreached. The strategy of stopping the rise in fossil fuel emissions first, then driving them downward, remains unmet according to the latest data. The report notes that the emission peak has not yet occurred, keeping the window to slow climate change uncertain as COP30 unfolds. A Shenzhou 21 return is underway after a disruption to the Shenzhou 20 rotation caused by space debris. China's three-person Tiangong crew, Chendong, Chen Zhongrui, and Wang Jie, are due to come home aboard Shenzhou 21, with mission controls saying they are in good condition and continuing normal work in orbit. The incident prompted ground teams to adjust the flight schedule as a precaution and to rehearse landing procedures in the designated zone. In a first for China's space program, the Shenzhou 21 mission carried mice for experiments, part of aims to support a permanently manned station and a moon landing target by 2030. Tiangong's leadership conducted ground analyses, emergency simulations, and landing drills while the station remains capable of hosting 2 crews. Despite the delay, Tiangong accommodated 2 crews simultaneously during the extra week in orbit, continuing operations as Shenzhou 21 joined the station. The space program has not disclosed details about the damaged Shenzhou 20 spacecraft or its future disposition, but it remains part of China's 2-station program alongside the ISS. This is the first time since China began its manned program in 2003 that a return has been postponed while astronauts were in space, underscoring the emphasis on contingency planning for in-space anomalies. The events mirror broader challenges faced during long-duration missions, including a recent NASA Starliner-related delay in returning a crew in 2024, highlighting the shared difficulty of maintaining complex crewed operations in orbit. A 13.8-foot, 1,653-pound male great white nicknamed Contender has been tracked off the Atlantic City coast, adding data to our understanding of its migration patterns. OSARC's spot tag provides real-time data for roughly 5 years, enabling researchers to study movement and collect biological samples, including Eurogenital material. Contender's travels show a spring retreat near North Carolina's Outer Banks, a summer move north to Massachusetts, a late summer resurfacing near Pointe-Perrant, Quebec, and a fall turn southward toward the East Coast. The tracking program supports conservation recommendations and highlights collaboration among science, innovation, and public engagement. OSARC aims to tag hundreds of large marine animals to better understand ocean ecosystems amid climate and human pressures, with supporters invited to donate for further expeditions and data collection. Biological samples collected from Contender are part of ongoing analysis for conservation research. The name Contender honors Contender Boats, a longtime partner funding ocean research missions. The article explains Contender's tracking history and the purpose of tagging within the broader tagging program tied to Contender boats. The program seeks to enhance scientific understanding of great white migrations and inform conservation, with followers able to track Contender on OSARC's online tracker. Beyond the core tagging details, The piece includes related features and reader prompts. By July, Contender reached Massachusetts and then went quiet, sparking concern among scientists. OSARC's tracking efforts contribute to conservation, fisheries management, and public safety, with updates accessible via the Global Shark Tracker app. A new beta feature in Apple Wallet aims to speed domestic travel by letting U.S. travelers add a passport-based digital ID for TSA checkpoints. The digital ID is not a replacement for a physical passport and cannot be used for international travel or border crossings. Created from U.S. passport data, the digital ID can be used for domestic flights, even if the traveler does not hold a real ID-compliant driver's license. Supported states and territories include Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Hawaii, Iowa, Maryland, Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, Ohio, Puerto Rico, and West Virginia, with more locations to come. The rollout is in beta with plans to add more airports and services in the future. At checkpoints, the device uses end-to-end encrypted data transfer and verifies that the device owner is present. The feature is part of a broader shift toward digital wallets and mobile identity, amid privacy and security concerns about data sharing and potential compulsory use. Industry outlook suggests faster security lines and a move toward contactless identity management in travel, with possible future expansions to retail verification and event tickets. International expansion could occur through partnerships with frameworks like the EU Digital Identity Initiative. Security considerations include device-bound encryption and no central data storage by Apple. Experts warn of phishing and cyber risks, and accessibility remains a challenge for non-iPhone users. The beta rollout aims for broader availability soon, with user feedback shaping refinements. Competitors such as Google are pursuing similar wallet-based ID concepts. The rollout builds on prior digital driver's licenses and represents a federal-scale expansion with TSA collaboration and broader travel tech implications. Privacy advocates welcome encryption and user-controlled data sharing, while concerns persist about data breaches and government overreach. The system currently covers domestic U.S. flights and does not replace a physical passport internationally. The FDA has approved Poherdy, a biosimilar to Perjeta, for adults with HER2-positive breast cancer in metastatic, neoadjuvant, and adjuvant settings, and the approval includes interchangeability where allowed by state law. Poherdy may be substituted at the pharmacy level without clinician intervention, subject to local regulations, aligning with the growing use of interchangeable biosimilars. The indications mirror pertuzumab use with Herceptin and docetaxel across metastatic disease, neoadjuvant therapy for locally advanced or higher-risk disease, and adjuvant therapy for early-stage, high-recurrence risk HER2-positive breast cancer. The safety profile carries boxed warnings for left ventricular dysfunction and embryo-fetal toxicity, with precautions for infusion-related reactions and hypersensitivity, consistent with the reference product. Dosing follows the standard pertuzumab regimen, a loading dose of 840 mg IV, then 420 mg IV every 3 weeks, with infusion times of 30 to 60 minutes, and overall safety expectations align with pertuzumab's known profile. Poherdy was developed by Shanghai Henlius Biologics and is intended to be highly similar to Perjeta in structure and function, with no meaningful differences in safety, purity, or potency. Phase 1 data showed bioequivalence in pharmacokinetics and immunogenicity, supporting regulatory pathways for interchangeability, and FDA confirmations emphasize similar safety and adverse event profiles across study arms. HER2-positive breast cancers account for about 1/5 of cases and carry higher recurrence risk, underscoring the potential impact of accessible biosimilars like Poherdy on treatment options. This has been your daily brief in science. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates via email at www.brief.news. For more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit brief.news/podcasts. We'll be back Monday with everything you need to know.